Hey lovies! So if you're interested in seeing how I achieved this accidental yet intentional faux tapered TWA, stay tuned. I'll explain later. So first you want to start off by sectioning your hair. It just makes life easier, so I highly recommend it. I made these sections here as shown. It's about 5 sections. And in this order, I applied product. First aloe vera juice, then my Shea Butter Leave-In Conditioning Repair Cream, Alikay Natural Shea Yogurt, and the Shea Moisture Frizz Free Curl Mousse. And I applied in that order, either finger detangling or using my denman brush. I proceeded to curl. The very nape of my neck, I did Bantu knots. This is not a tutorial on how to do Bantu knots. There are several out there, but basically I just twirled. And as you can see, starting at the base, I just continue to twirl and wrap it around. Of course, securing with my left hand, wrapping around with my right, as you can see. And when I got to the very tip, I literally just wrapped it around one last time while tucking. I did this at the very nape of my neck to avoid any tugging that might have been caused by any perm rods, and I just wanted to be gentle there. That's it. And again, with the same order of products as I mentioned before, followed by detangling, I went ahead and placed perm rods in my hair. At the very back of my head, I used the smallest perm rod that I own, which is this blue one here that you see. The goal was for me to place the small curls in the very back, and as I worked my way toward the top of my head to place larger curls, thus giving me a faux taper. So that was the intention. And sparing you of the time it took to place all of the perm rods, I am showing you here how I progressively increased the diameter of the perm rods as I worked my way up toward the top of my head. So here I'm thinking of what to do with the top. And I decided to do a flat twist with a curled end with the largest perm rod that I have. Again, using the same products as mentioned before. I proceeded to flat twist toward the front of my head. And at the very tip, I was sure to make sure that my ends were properly detangled, because I didn't twist all the way to the end. Rather, I smoothed the end out and placed the perm rod, as you can see here. One thing I've learned is to always make sure your hair is properly detangled before styling. It just makes for a smoother style. And voila. So here I'm showing you basically how it all turned out. Everything's all curled up and I let it air dry for the remainder of the day. But something came up and I had to go out, so I only got to dry for about 3.5 to 4 hours, which many of you will know is clearly not enough. So I'm not going to show you me uncurling everything. You'll get the idea. But I was left with this. It was not dried completely. I was not satisfied. But this is where I just decided to haphazardly just separate it out and see what I'm working with. Obviously, I was not going to get the tapered look that I wanted. So I just took it all down to see what shape I was left with, because that's my I guess my challenge is learning how to shape my fro. So I was happy that at the very, very top, I did get enough volume that I could decide to work with something. So I decided to pick them out at the root, fluff it a little bit, and then somehow figure out how to work with the back. So you see, curlies, sometimes you don't get what you expect, but the versatility of our natural hair is amazing. So here what you see me doing is literally pressing down the curls against my head and pinning from underneath. You don't see any pins when you do it this way. It makes for a flawless finish. So I'm just using tons of pins and haphazardly going around my head and just pinning to give some kind of shape. I was not happy with the sides, so I decided to take some olive oil Eco Styler gel and brush it back. And I used this crisscrossing pin motion to ensure that it stayed in place. I did the same thing to the other side, and I also shaped the top portion of my head to fall to the right of my face, just to give a little bit of framing, if you will. And this is what I was left with, and of course you just want to go around and see if there's any pieces sticking out, and of course pin those pieces in as well, pinning from underneath. Bobby pins are a girl's best friend. Here I'm spraying some Strength and Shine leave-in spritz, and that's what I'm left with. And I really have to go, so I tied my head down with a head wrap in a pineapple style, and this is what I was left with. Here I am, bouldering. This is where I had to go.